We have to talk. I'm going to take this video here. A lot going on that we got to talk about here, and here in the Pines, here at Deer Park, and it's just starting to really sink in about this whole election. And I've really lost faith in a lot of my fellow countrymen. Yeah, it's just starting to sink in, and honestly, I'm just really disgusted with people. You know, I understand, and we're going to actually set the camera up and talk. But I just don't understand how people could just put this planet on. And they just don't think this planet is important. I just don't understand it. So let's talk, all right? America, I'm hugely disappointed in you. Look, I know we have huge problems with the border. I know we have huge problems with crime. I understand that in our cities in particular, but we have an even much bigger problem with our planet. And we have a much bigger problem when it comes to hatred, bigotry, and intolerance. And unfortunately, people voted for somebody who was going to make things a lot worse with those latter things. I was watching a video from one of the people I'm subscribed to, Vegimatic, he, like me, cares deeply about this planet, and was very disturbed and very upset as to what happened on election day. And I am devastated. You know, I was first just in a state of shock, but now I'm just devastated. I know, oh, your liberal tears, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. All right? We're talking about Donald Trump here, a convicted felon. We're talking about somebody who, I know, give him a chance. But look at the people he's appointing to his cabinet. Gates, a child pedophile, in charge of the FBI, in charge of the Department of Justice. Are you freaking kidding me? Lee Zeldin in charge of the EPA. All right, I sort of like Lee Zeldin when it comes to some of the things he's done on Long Island, but he supports, you know, he's a climate denier. All right, RFK Jr. in charge of the health of this country, somebody who denies vaccines, somebody who is against vaccinations. A fossil fuel Wall Street guy, I don't know his name, in charge of the Department of Energy. Elon Musk and a new Department of Governmental Efficiency called Doge. I'm going to cut $1 trillion or something, $2 trillion. I mean, and you voted for this. You voted for a guy who said...
By it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
You vote for a guy who puts down veterans, who puts down people, LGBT community. He puts down everybody who's different.
Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
You voted for a guy who denies the climate crisis.
So I think one area of mutual agreement and priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key, because if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
When I hear these people talking about global warming, that's the global warming you have to worry about. Not that the ocean's going to rise in 400 years an eighth of an inch, and you'll have more seafront property, right, if that happens. I said, is that good or bad? I said, isn't that a good thing? If I have a little property on the ocean, I have a little bit more property. I have a little bit more ocean.
Who thinks it's all fake. God knows what he's going to do to Noah. Who knows what, and he's got, and his party has charged, there's no checks. There's no checks. Unlike the last time, there's no checks. There's no balances. He's going to have complete control. I don't know what you were thinking, America. I really don't know what you were thinking. And look, I should know. All right, I've seen my town infested with illegals. I should know. I should know how bad illegal immigration is. It's terrible. And yes, Biden and Harris failed on that. Big time. I'm not going to lie about that. But there are even more important issues than that. Like our democracy. I don't know what the guy is going to do to the programs I rely on, public transportation, all that stuff. I'm terrified. There's somebody I know who's actually planning on leaving the country. I just don't know. So I'm going to talk to you while we walk around the Pine Barrens a little bit. It's hard to hold this up like this. Kind of got my hand against the pine tree here. God knows what's going to happen to the Pine Barrens. We do have to stop burning fossil fuels, but now that any chance of that slowing down is pretty much gone out the window. I don't know, man. I don't know what's wrong with this country. I don't know what's gotten into people in this country. Greed, the culture of greed, the culture of Wall Street. It's all about money. It's all about money. Don't you realize there's more important things than money? Like this planet? Don't you realize it? Don't you get it through your fucking heads, America? No, you don't get it. I'm scared of the kind of persecution I'm going to have against people with disabilities. What's going to happen to our programs? Yeah, I may be forced to leave the country. Can't imagine being away from the Pine Barrens. This is my favorite place. Maybe the country will break up. Maybe we're going to have a civil war. I don't know. But the man held an insurrection on January 6th. Just the other day, Nazis marched in Ohio. This country is full of hate. I've never seen a country so full of hate in my life. We have a problem with the people in this country right now. We have a disease. We've lost our souls. We've lost our humanity. We've lost our compassion in this country. Sure feels like it anyway. And look, both parties are to blame for this crap. It's also the fault of the Democratic Party, because they've become corporate Democrats. They've lost their way. Kamala Harris was going with Liz Cheney and all the corporate people that she was campaigning with. That's why she lost the freaking election. Democrats didn't come out and vote. They weren't enthusiastic about her. She was trying to be like Hillary Clinton in the end. And we know what happened to Hillary Clinton. She lost to Donald Trump, so here we go again. The Democratic Party still doesn't get it through their heads. You have plenty of good candidates you could have picked. Josh Shapiro. You could have picked Phil Murphy. You could even pick Phil Murphy. Tom Suozzi. But no, you had to go with somebody who is a limousine liberal. Matt, just like the kind of limousine liberal we have ruining this state, Kathy Hochul. Said, I can't stand both sides. Both sides have let me down. Both sides have really let me down tremendously. Just like I said, I don't know what's gotten into people in this country. But again, both sides have let me down tremendously, and I'm just trying to enjoy this all while I still can, because I don't know what the future's going to bring. I'm scared that I may not be able to survive here. Not just in New York, but in the whole country in general. Kind of hatred, I mean, that's around. It's just unbelievable. Man. It's got to be somewhere else like the Pine Barrens in another country. It has to be. Trust me, I'm looking. Still, this is my home. It's just like, I don't want to be driven out. How do we fight back against this? How do we fight back? I have friends who are very happy about what happened. They think America's going to be great. I don't think America's going to be great. I think it's going to get worse and worse and worse. He cut taxes for the richest people. All right? It took Joe Biden a long time to undo just a small fraction of the damage that Donald Trump did in his first term. Now imagine how much worse it's going to be in his second. That is the real concern. The people, they just don't get it. No, they don't get it. They believe the lies. I mean, my gosh. My gosh. You know, I mean, look at the stuff he says in his speeches, man.
Newscomb is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor.
And you have J.D. Vance, who basically is somebody who, talk about a flip-flopper. He hated Trump. And now he's his vice president. I mean, really? We are in some serious trouble. And I'm scared about what's gonna be to come to this country. Because if he does some of the crazy things he's going to attempt to do, I don't see the blue states putting up with it. And, you know, we may see the blue states trying to secede from this country if it gets bad enough. Look, I want Donald Trump to succeed, but I'm looking at the facts here. I'm looking at all the things he's said. He's a convicted felon. He's somebody who shows no regard for the law, no regard for our process. Staging an insurrection, getting away with it. And he shows no regard for the environment. And we're going to see a lot of our environmental protections stripped. We're going to see drilling in the Arctic. We're going to see polluters, big companies being allowed to pollute again without having to deal with the consequences. We're going to see tremendous inequality. The Wall Street people, they're going to continue to do better than they've ever done. And the rest of us are going to suffer. And it's just going to keep getting worse because we don't really have a party for the people anymore. And the people have been so brainwashed that they just believe the lies. They believe the lies. They don't want to look at the facts. They just believe the lies. I know. We're in some serious trouble. The Democrats, no wonder why the donkey is the symbol, their symbol. I mean, it's such a pathetic symbol for a party. That they could not. This was the most important election that this country probably ever faced, and they blew it. Yes, Kamala, you blew it. Joe Biden, you blew it. Democratic Party, you blew it. They didn't learn any of their lessons. Because you failed on the immigration, now we have to suffer on a whole bunch of other things. We have to suffer 4 years of Donald Trump. And we don't know if this country is going to survive because you failed. What could they have done differently? Well, for starters, Joe Biden should have dropped out of the race sooner. He stayed in too long, and by the time they switched candidates, it was not enough time. Not enough time. Second, you didn't admit we had problems at the border. Kamala should have said, we need to secure our borders. We need to get rid of the illegals. We need to put our citizens first. But she didn't say that. Donald Trump did say those things, and people voted for Donald Trump because of that. But will Donald Trump even get rid of the illegals? He's got this border czar who claims he's going to round up all these illegals. And this gets even worse because they want to take away birthright citizenship. Even legal immigrants could be deported. I'm sorry, I'm against that. This is the kind of hatred that we have, that we've stirred up because, again, the Democrats couldn't fight hard enough. They couldn't get the right people in. They couldn't get their message across. But still, even with all that, and I know the Democrats have failed tremendously, I know that the option of Donald Trump was still the worst option. But so many of my other fellow Americans just didn't see it that way. They looked past the insurrection. They looked past the conviction. They looked past all the horrible things that have come out of that man's mouth. They've looked past the devastating effects of the climate crisis that will continue to get worse. Here I am in November. What's wrong with this picture? I don't have a jacket on because it's going to be close to 70 degrees today. All right? This is not normal. We haven't had rain. We've got brush fires all over the place. The climate is going haywire, and it's going haywire fast, but everybody in America is so frickin' concerned about their money that they don't care about the planet. And here's the thing, Donald Trump ain't going to give you money. He's going to take your money away and give it to the richest people. Look at his freaking policies. But no, you don't see that. You just say, oh, he's a celebrity. He's got the celebrity appeal. That's what's going on. He's got the celebrity appeal. We love Trump. We need more Trump. Give me a break. The man is not anything to be celebrated. So it's sinking in, obviously, this election. And I don't know what the future is going to bring for this planet. It's not going to be good. I'm scared of the things that could be coming. Right? The climate crisis, but also with Donald Trump making things a whole lot worse for the rest of us. And for the governors of the blue states, including our own governor, Kathy Hochul. You got to do everything in your power to protect us from some of the things he's going to do to us. All right? if it means even seceding from the country. If you have to do that, then that's what we have to do. All right? But we got to preserve our public transportation. We got to preserve our environment. We got to make sure that the services that the citizens need, the social welfare programs, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, they're not touched. And if Trump touches them and he gets away with it, then we got to secede from the country. Maybe join Canada. I don't know. Look at Project 2025. There's a whole bunch of scary crap in there. But nobody looked at it. Because everybody in this country is dumb. And I know they're good people. There are plenty of people that didn't vote for Donald Trump. And I appreciate you not voting for Donald Trump. All right? But for those who did, you've made a huge mistake. I want to be wrong. But I know deep inside, we made a huge mistake. I remember the chaos of his first 4 years. This is going to be so much worse. This is going to be so much worse. We may see the end of this country. We may see the breakup of this country. It was a good run. It's a good run, America. But maybe the end. There's even rumors he's thinking of getting a third term, too. He's trying to figure that out, too. Even though he's not allowed. But again, the laws mean nothing to him. They mean nothing. And so now we have these absolutely disgusting picks for his cabinet. And if the Senate does not stop those picks from happening, he's trying to see if he can do it in a recess type of thing. If they don't stop it, then Donald Trump is going to have complete power over this country. We're going to have a dictator. But again, you voted for it. So I don't want to hear you complaining about it, America. You were warned. I want to be wrong so much. Trust me, I'm praying I'm wrong. But if I'm right, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, the messenger. Because I told you so. So beautiful here. Can't lose this. This means everything to me. I know I'm using my phone, so it may not look as nice, but it's so warm today. It's ridiculous. I'm going to go for a walk, obviously. It's so warm, and there's a little bit of smoke in the air, too, so again. And they interview people on the news, too, and they're like, oh, we know about climate change, but yet I bet you voted for Donald Trump. I mean, all right. I think we've gotten to the last segment of this video. Like I said, I don't want it being too long. But I'm really worried about the future of this country. I'm really worried about the future of this planet. And I'm a science-based person, so when I look at all the things that have come out of Donald Trump's mouth, the people he's putting in charge, I have good reason to be concerned. I hope I'm wrong. But, again, you voted for it. You did win the election. This is the choice America made. The Democrats failed to overcome it because the Democrats were too busy being corporate liberal, limousine liberals. Instead of being Democratic Party JFK. Remember that Democratic Party? Democratic Party of FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. That's the Democratic Party to like. That's the Democratic Party we need back. But that Democratic Party doesn't exist anymore. So that's the problem. We need to get that spirit back in the Democratic Party. And if we did, Donald Trump never would have gotten to power in the first place. But unfortunately, the centrist Democrats, they're very hard to come by. There aren't enough of them. There needs to be more of them. And so instead, we get 4 years of Donald Trump. And I pray I can survive it. I pray that we can survive it as a country. And I'll say Donald Trump comes to the environment here. Sounds like somebody with an illegal dirt bike in there. But Donald Trump, if he comes to the environment here, we're going to fight like we've never fought before. All right? And then same thing if he comes to the programs I rely on, I'm going to fight like I never fought before, too. We're all going to have to fight. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that. Like I said, yes, give him a chance. But I'm praying for a miracle, but I'm expecting misery. So, pray that we get through this. Pray that this country can survive. Pray that people realize their mistake eventually. Hopefully in the next 2 years. And pray. Because we have an orange monster in charge of our country right now. Or he's going to be in charge of our country come January 20th. And all hell is going to break loose. Just know it. But again, you voted for it. That's it for this video.